images in the upcoming slides. We also have a few surprises in store this afternoon. So that means pay attention. We think this is going to last about an hour. And next, I'd like to introduce our award committee members. They've been so creative and dedicated to preparing for this virtual program. You'll see they're wearing their hats. I'll introduce them if they'll just wave or tip their hat. But those of you that came on and saw we were wearing our hats and wanted to join in that spirit, so now we have plenty of folks in hats and we love it. Libby Yost is my co-chair. Our committee members include Kyle Bauer, Jenny De La Cruz, and just a side note that Jenny sends her regrets that she can't join us today. She is a social worker in a nursing home and is in high demand right now. Ethelyn McQueen Gibson, Jen Kraft Morgan, and Laura Bauer round out a very enthusiastic and dedicated awards committee. And we are only successful as a committee thanks to the tireless support and efforts of the SGS leadership and board, and particularly our executive director, Leanne Ferguson. So virtual cheers and a tip of the hat to all of you. As we kick off this awards event, you'll notice we are imagining it in a red carpet style. So just picture yourself walking down the red carpet, getting your photo taken. But please note that we are going to mute your mic. And if there's time at the end of this hour-long program, we want to open it back up just as we did at the beginning for any questions and for networking, since it's been a while since we have been able to see each other. So sit back and join us as we honor our awardees, and I hope you'll listen carefully and learn about the amazing work our SGS colleagues are engaged in. Libby, passing it to you.
Thanks, Christy. Of course, none of this would be possible without the help of our sponsors. Has it gone forward? Sorry. Is the slideshow progressing?
Don't see, we're still on our title slide.
Of course, none of this would be possible without technology glitches either. So, 1 second.
And I can mention on the title slide, you saw the SGS 2020 virtual hashtag. So feel free to use that hashtag related to any of the SGS events that are going on in place of the conference, including this awards program. And Leanne, can we just get a quick update? How do we look in terms of our attendees numbers?
We have 39 people with us. So that's pretty exciting.
Great.
I'm sorry for my inability on technology, so we're just going to have to do this as far as we can make it go forward.
That works. That works.
Okay.
Thanks.
So special thank you to all of our sponsors. So our double platinum sponsor this year, UMBC Erickson School of Aging Studies. Our gold sponsor, the UVA School of Nursing. Our bronze sponsors, Western Carolina University, the National Association of Professional Gerontologists, Virginia Tech, the Center for Gerontology. Our silver sponsor and Living with Dementia supporter, Riverside Center for Excellence in Aging and Lifelong Health. And our silver virtual sponsor, the Georgia State University Gerontology Institute. Our first award will be the Gerontologists Rooted in the South Award, or G.R.I.T.S, and I'll turn this back over to Christy.
Thanks, Libby. So we won't review all the details or the credentials for presenting these awards because you have that available to you in front of you. But we are certainly pleased to recognize our G.R.I.T.S. It is really our most distinguished of all the awards that we present, and again, standing for Gerontologists Rooted in the South. This year, we are recognizing 3 esteemed colleagues. Each will receive a lovely vase. 2 of our 3 awardees are with us today, and they'll be given the opportunity to speak just briefly after we present these awards. Please note, these are the only awardees we are inviting to speak, as this is customary with our awards program. So I have the honor, Libby, if you don't mind moving to our next slide, of celebrating Dr. Jody Titleman. Jody has been a member of SGS for many years. In fact, she's one of our longest standing members, and her anniversary date with SGS predates our record-keeping system. I met Jody about 15 years ago, and we've partnered to deliver workshops many of these recent years at SGS. We have wonderful stories and adventures to share, and our favorite was the SGS conference in Raleigh in 2011, when a tornado came through downtown and greatly impacted our hotel and our conference. And Jody can hold up her wrist. We continued on to deliver our scheduled workshop thanks to the sunlight coming in. There was no power. And we believe we came out safely on the other side of the conference because we both wore Guardian eye bracelets. She's showing you hers. Mine had been purchased in Greece. Hers had been purchased in Uzbekistan, and we didn't know that the other was wearing the bracelets when we showed up to give our presentation. So guess what? Now we would never go to an SGS conference. We always wear those bracelets, and you have us to thank for a smooth conference that we've had since then. In all seriousness, I want to share some excerpts from Jody's nomination from Dr. Al Coppolillo, occupational therapist and professor emeritus from VCU. They were colleagues in the occupational therapy department from 1997 to 2019, and 10 of these years he was serving as her department chair. He notes, and I quote, "I have found her to be an exemplary gerontology scholar, an outstanding instructor, a collaborative research partner, and a strong advocate for the elderly." Dr. Teitelman has advanced the knowledge and understanding of hundreds of OT students and has continuously promoted interprofessional learning and a practice in gerontology through her efforts as a professor. Serving as a professor with training in the field of gerontology presented her with a very unique challenge, but she embraced and mastered it to the benefit of the VCU Department of OT, our students, and our community at large. Dr. Coppolillo goes on to describe some of their research and writing and proudly explains they won the 2006 Cordelia Myers Writers Award. They also co-taught many times on sexuality in older adults and persons with disabilities. I quote, "Her knowledge of the history of the study of sexuality, her background in discussing this topic with older adults, and her emphasis on the ageist social stigmas and potential for sexual abuse related to older adults increase students' understanding and skills for addressing these topics in their own practice." Finally, Dr. Coppolillo describes how pleased he was that Jody has been such a faithful presenter and attendee of SGS meetings and how she has engaged her occupational therapy colleagues and students in these meetings. Doing so, she has exposed occupational therapists to gerontology in a way that enhances interprofessional collaboration for the older adults we are proud to serve. She blazed a uniquely difficult but rewarding career path, and it's my privilege to invite Dr. Teitelman to share a few words now.
Thank you so much, Christy, and thank you to everybody who is here, present, obviously in air quotes. I'm so happy that we have the technology to be able to be together this way, although I have to confess, I am somewhat bereft that we're not together physically, and have tried to successfully move through my 5 stages of grief about not being at that wonderful snack-laden hotel in Norfolk and hovering around that silent auction table, watching to see if our items go or if we're going to win the items we're bidding for. What I'd like to use a few moments of time to do is to honor who I consider to be the real heroes of the society, and that is the SGS leadership. So first, to our trifecta of past, current, and recently elected presidents, Jennifer, Ishan, and Althea, to Christy in the awards committee, to the program committee, Becky, Ethlyn, and Levon. My heart goes out to each of you for all the diligent efforts that I know you put into planning what was originally destined to be an amazing live meeting. And you've probably had to go through at least 50 stages of grief to get to that poignant, but I think very necessary and wise decision to cancel the live meeting. But at the same time, I want to honor your fierce commitment to SGS and your willingness to keep moving forward, to problem solve, and to come up with programs like this. I do feel that the word resilience is becoming somewhat overused in the time of coronavirus, but I consulted my thesaurus, and really there is no other adjective that will do to describe the full extent of your creativity and your flexibility and your willingness to continue to adapt. And because I know I've left out some other important individual names, I want to say to the entire SGS membership that we need the society more than ever during this time of COVID-19. We all know that SGS is committed to research, advocacy, and service that supports our most vulnerable older adults living in the South. We've seen the COVID mortality rates for this group, and we've all heard the societal-wide ageism around this pandemic, treating our elders as expendable, especially if they are poor or members of marginalized groups. So although we may need to do so from afar, this is the time for us to continue to stand together, to support our elders, but also to support one another and to stay connected in our SGS community. And given that SGS has in fact always had this commitment and spirit, I am very proud to accept one of this year's G.R.I.T.S Awards. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Bravo, bravo. And I'll pass it to Libby.
Our second G.R.I.T.S inductee this year is Dr. Malcolm Cutchin, a professor of healthcare sciences at Wayne State. Malcolm's interdisciplinary work, utilizing a pragmatist perspective on aging, has been extensively published and received numerous awards and extramural funding. His research evaluates human-place relationships and well-being, particularly of importance right now during COVID. He often focuses on residential environments and stress, particularly in an African-American population. His work has been published internationally and most recently in the Gerontologist, Psychoneuroendocrinology, the Journal of Aging and Health, the American Journal of Occupational Therapy, Dementia, the Journals of Gerontology, the Annals of Epidemiology, and Health in Place. And that's just the last 2 years. Though the accolades of Malcolm's work are known internationally, this is only one aspect of this amazing new inductee. Malcolm has also received awards for his outstanding and caring mentorship of not only faculty and fellows, but of numerous graduate students helping to create the next wave of gerontologists. He is without a doubt truly worthy of this induction into the G.R.I.T.S Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Malcolm. Would you like to take a moment?
Sure. Thank you very much, Libby. I'm awed by this honor. When I first heard that I was winning this award, I couldn't believe it. I don't think I'm deserving. When you look at the wall of people who are in the Hall of Fame, the G.R.I.T.S Hall of Fame, it's an incredible group to be a part of. I'd like to thank a couple of mentors who I think have been essential to my development in gerontology. Graham Rolls, who I think wrote one of the letters, if not the nominating letter. Graham has been an incredible friend, mentor, and role model, and we are finally getting to work together. So, you just keep in this game long enough, and great things happen. Victor Marshall, when I was at North Carolina, became a good friend and colleague. And it was Victor who got me involved with SGS. And I'm so grateful to Victor for that, because you guys have become an important part of my extended family, I would say. SGS has been so important to me professionally and personally. The relationships that I've developed with many of you are really treasured. And similar to what Jody said, I'm very hopeful about this organization. I think the leadership over the last 5 to 10 years and management of the organization has been outstanding. I think it's been renewed. I think it's going to achieve great things in the future, and I'm very excited to be a part of it. So I am just so excited about this honor, and I'm very appreciative, and I want to thank all of you for supporting my nomination and for giving me this award.
Thank you, Malcolm. Our last G.R.I.T.S inductee this year it comes to us as a posthumous award, and it's Dr. Carter Osterbind. It's only fitting that we recognize this former economist from the University of Florida. Dr. Osterbind was responsible for the precursor of Southern Gerontological Society, the Southern Conference of Gerontology. In his lifetime, his eminence was recognized by many in the aging community, and ultimately, the Florida Council on Aging established an award in his honor, as he was one of their members that helped found the society. So, among keeping records of some of the first SGS meetings, he also helped to create and establish the Florida Council on Aging. So, though he cannot clearly be with us, this wraps up our third G.R.I.T awardee, and all have been inspiring and kind of awe-inducing in reading their history and their work. So congratulations to all of our G.R.I.T Hall of Fame inductees. You can see previous award winners on the Southern Gerontological Society Awards website. And next we have Jen Kraft Morgan up with the Gordan Streib Award. Jen.
Well, before you go on, I just wanted to say we should thank Lauren Bobover for nominating Carter and bringing us back to our roots in the South. So thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Connie. This is Christy. I'll just add it was a joint Lauren Baumhover and Wiley Mangum that helped prepare this nomination for Carter. And I learned so much about the history of our organization and just what they shared with us. It did take some clever work to find a picture of Carter, but we've confirmed this is an accurate one. And Libby and I are working to reach out to his family to make sure that we can send to one of his sons the award, the vase.
All right. I get the distinct pleasure of announcing the Gordan Streib Academic Gerontologist Award. The Streib Award is named after a true pioneer of social gerontology who, over a 6-decade career in sociology and gerontology at Cornell University and the University of Florida, has made major and lasting contributions to both fields. This award is given to an SGS member who has shown excellence and leadership in aging, has a strong record of scholarly publications, and has had significant engagement with students. And in true spirit of the SGS Awards Committee, we have a surprise. This year, the award goes to 2 deserving individuals, Dr. Stephen Marsden and Dr. Ishan Canty Williams. Surprise, Ishan. I'm going to start with Dr. Marsden. Dr. Marsden had a long and distinguished career at the University of North Carolina at Pembroke, which was Pembroke State University when he joined the faculty in 1977. Known for his theoretical work in the area of social work and older adults, he has a very strong record of public service in addition to significant scholarly production of 47 referee journal articles, in addition to multiple book chapters and 8 referee monographs. His nominator wrote, "What I wish to convey is that he has done this all while teaching and mentoring students and even junior faculty like me. His passion for applied gerontology, social work, and social welfare are both palpable and infectious. The students that have had classes with him, those who he has mentored, have benefited from the hardest working and most dedicated provider I have known. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Marsden for being recognized with the Gordan Streib Distinguished Academic Gerontologist Award." Yay! And secondly, Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams exceeds the criteria set forth for the Gordan Streib Academic Gerontologist Award. In fact, she is one of only 2 SGS members, if my scan is correct, to win both the Gordan Streib Award and the Applied Gerontologist Award from the Society. Ishan is known for her work on the quality of life and healthcare among older adults and their family caregivers, with a particular focus on vulnerable populations. She has 50 peer-reviewed articles and book chapters, multiple funded research projects, including significant funding from NIH and NAHRQ. She is a top-notch leader and collaborator. Of course, her service to SGS has been significant. She served on the program committee, budget and finance, and publications. Currently, she's our SGS president for 2 years. Isn't she lucky? And Dr. Williams has also had significant impact in her interdisciplinary mentoring, serving on approximately 20 doctoral committees, many of which had a gerontological focus. As her nominator states, Dr. Williams is a very accomplished academic gerontologist who has a multi-dimensional impact in the academy and well beyond. She is highly deserving of the Streib Award. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Williams on her surprise award. I can't see her.
You can. Can I talk? Because I don't think I can chat to everyone. So I'm furiously typing to Leanne saying how much I'm going to get you guys for this, but she's the only one. That I really do appreciate this honor and the recognition for the work that many of us obviously do in this field. And you know, as Jody was talking earlier about the loss, I actually had a mentoring conversation this morning with one of the students, and I was saying to her, one of the losses that I felt is that as a mentor, not being able to face-to-face and see my students kind of launch them off at graduation and do that was pretty sad for me this year, and I really did miss it, and I got all teary-eyed, and those of you who know me know that I'm a pretty emotional person anyway, so it doesn't take much, but it really was, you know, it gives me an opportunity to have a little bit of generativity and to reflect about the work that I have done with these students, and of course the work that I hope that they're going to continue to do with our older adults. And so thank you for this recognition, because I know sometimes we don't always get the thank yous from the places that we need them. So I do appreciate the organization and the membership for this award. Thank you, Christy, and the awards committee. And I'm still gonna see you soon.
Congrats to Dr. Williams and Dr. Marson. And Libby, if you can move us forward to our next. All right, so I believe Kim is on, Kim McRae, and we are going to be presenting the Applied Gerontologist Award to her. You can see some of the background information, and Libby, if you'll move to the next slide. Kim has an incredible spirit, and I had the good fortune to meet her in person after hearing much about her for many years when we were at the SGS meeting in Florida. Sonia Barsness, who submitted this nomination, says to tell you Kim simply kisses in all caps. I'm sure you know the message. Sonia shares the following in her nomination. I have personally known Kim for about 12 years, particularly through our work with Pioneer Network, and she has worked tirelessly to change the way that we think about people who are growing older and growing with dementia, and the ways that we can best support them through changing our culture to one that is person-centered. Kim was a caregiver for her mother who had Lewy body dementia, and this is what initially spearheaded her vocation. Kim expressed frustration and disappointment at the challenges she experienced in accessing information as a family caregiver about dementia and also about the available support options and how to navigate them. Kim tirelessly and bravely navigated a field of aging services and long-term care services that is difficult for any caregiver. She not only negotiated these services for herself, but she stopped and made a conscious decision that she needed to change this landscape so that others could better achieve the support that they needed. Despite the strains of her own caregiving experience, she was resolute in improving the care partner experience for others and the overall care experience for people with dementia. I find this selflessness remarkable, that a person not only had the energy to navigate the system, providing caring support for a family member, but then also had the passion and energy to want to change the system for others. Sonia goes on to say, Kim and I had presented together several times. She has been endlessly passionate and authentic. Audiences are drawn to her in ways that are rarely seen, especially in their diversity of type of audience. She can pull the heartstrings of a CEO as much as of a family caregiver. I can think of no better person to nominate for this award, who has dedicated her life to applying the knowledge that we have gained in gerontology and translate it into better ways so that we can support our older persons. Congrats, Kim. All right, thank you, Libby. And I am on with you for presenting two more awards. So the Rhoda L. Jennings Distinguished Older Advocate Award, recognizing a person over the age of 65 who during their work and retirement years has devoted significant work and particularly around advocacy in the Southern communities that they serve. So if you'll move to the next slide, we're going to recognize two awardees today. Our 2020 awardee is Helen Mack, and we'll also recognize Bob Blancato, our 2019 awardee. Let me start with Helen. Helen was nominated by Dr. Althea Taylor Jones. Interestingly, Helen nominated Althea for this same award, and it was given to Althea 2 years ago when we were in Lake Lanier in Georgia. Helen Mack has dedicated her life to serving humanity in the fields of education, administration, counseling, and aging. Althea shares that Helen earned an MS in elementary education at Nazareth College in Rochester, New York, and after retiring as an elementary school principal, she returned to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro to complete a doctorate in gerontological counseling along with a gerontology certificate. She's a National Writing Project Fellow and a Fellow of the Senior Leadership Initiative at the UNC Chapel Hill Institute on Aging. She's a master trainer for the Powerful Tools for Caregivers workshops. She conducts online workshops for caregivers of veterans for the Veterans Administration and for the National Council on Aging. She is certified in MOST, M-O-S-T, and in assisting with writing of advance directives. She's a member of the Forsyth County Aging Services Planning Committee and serves on the leadership team of Age Friendly Forsyth. Helen is a member of the volunteer facilitating and training team for the national AARP, where her role involves traveling to work with various states within the AARP national and state initiatives, including in her home state of North Carolina. Serves on the North Carolina AARP Executive Council, and she received the Anders Award from North Carolina AARP. A little bit more about Helen. She's an avid reader. She likes to knit and embroider. She practices meditation. She hikes the Blue Ridge Trails and enjoys a good cup of coffee. She's an avid New York Yankees fan, and hopefully, Helen, we can have baseball back soon for you to enjoy. She appreciates good friends and the wines of her state of North Carolina. So Helen, congratulations on your award as our 2020 Rhoda L. Jennings Distinguished Older Advocate. Next, I am pleased to present finally, and I really mean that finally, it's been a long time coming, for Mr. Bob Blancato, the 2019 Rhoda L. Jennings Distinguished Older Advocate Award. So a little background, we had planned to present our 2019 awardee with his plaque at the conference in Norfolk because he had a last minute emergency and couldn't be with us in Florida in 2019. So we were going to present it this year. In fact, Bob was scheduled to give an update on policy issues right before our awards banquet, which was scheduled for April 15th in Norfolk. Let me tell you a little bit about Bob now that we have been able to successfully get his 2019 plaque into his hands. You have proof of it there. So Mr. Bob Blancato, president of Matts Blancato and Associates, serves as the national coordinator of the bipartisan 3,000-member Elder Justice Coalition, the executive director of the National Association of Nutrition and Aging Services Programs, and the national coordinator of the Defeat Malnutrition Today Coalition. He has more than 20 years of service in the congressional and executive branches, including the senior staff of the U.S. House Select Committee on Aging and appointed by President Clinton to be executive director of the 1995 White House Conference on Aging. And we learned that Bob involved SGS specifically in that 1995 White House Conference on Aging. He currently serves on the advisory panel on outreach and education of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. As a volunteer, he serves on the National Board of AARP and on the Tufts Nutrition Council. He chaired the board of the American Society on Aging from 2016 to 2018. He's won numerous awards for advocacy, most recently the National Hispanic Council on Aging's 2018 President's Award. He's also been given awards by, and be ready for this list, the National Association of Area Agencies on Aging, the National Association of State Units in Aging and Disability, Generations United, the Older Women's League, and NAPSA. He's been recognized by the SE4A and was named Advocate of the Year by the Virginia Association of Area Agencies on Aging. And how cool is this? He was knighted by the Italian Republic in 2011. Bob has given presentations at local and state aging conferences in every state that SGS represents. Lynn Feinberg, one of his nominators and a colleague of many of ours at AARP, shared, "I'm honored to support his nomination for the Older Advocate Award. I've known him for more than 20 years and have had the distinct pleasure of working closely with him when I was chair of the board of the American Society on Aging and he was chair-elect. I'm well aware of his exemplary service on the boards of the National Council on Aging and at AARP. I can say without reservation that he's one of the most respected, influential, and passionate advocates for older people and their families in our field of aging. He's proactive and an effective advocate on a range of aging issues, particularly nutrition, long-term care services and supports, and his greatest passion, elder justice. One of the many reasons he's so respected by policymakers, researchers, and practitioners is because he listens closely to the needs of older adults themselves. He then articulates these needs in a compassionate, humane, factual, and meaningful way to promote positive change for older adults and their families. And Lynn sums it up with this, and I'll end here. Bob is the ultimate go-to aging advocate. So congratulations, Bob. We're sorry we're a little late with our recognition, but we salute you today as the 2019 awardee.
Hear, hear.
Thank you very much, Christy, and everybody at the SGS. It's a great honor to get it even a year late. And I will just say that the only hesitation I had when I learned about this was to admit that I'm an older advocate. So I rationalized it by saying I am actually an advocate of long-standing.
Right.
So I want to put that into the record.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob, for joining us and sharing this picture. We hope your plaque is proudly displayed at home or in your office, and glad you could join us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, Libby, next slide.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am happy to join the team in giving accolades to our honorees for the Best Practices Award, Dr. Barry Rumble and Dr. Jennifer Purdy from Riverside Health System in Newport News, Virginia. I want to read actually a couple of excerpts from the folks who nominated them and to let you know what makes them so special. So everybody can hear me, right? Okay, good. So you see here that the Best Practices Award actually recognizes programs that have innovative approaches to improve services and the quality of life. So from our first letter that actually came from one of their colleagues, Ms. Denise Butler, she stated that it is an honor to nominate Medication Review, part of the Comprehensive Geriatric Clinic and Memory Care Clinic as a Best Practices Award honoree. The Medication Review program is an invaluable element of the comprehensive medical assessment of the older adult. To make note, Dr. Barry Rumble has over 30 years of experience in the field of geriatric pharmacy evaluation. And then his counterpart, Dr. Jennifer Purdy, has a background in medication reviews. But then I want to go ahead and highlight just a couple of more things that makes this program very unique and very great that they're receiving this award. The medication review program was designed to engage pharmacists in the interprofessional care of persons living with dementia that, again, are a part of the Riverside Geriatric Assessment and Memory Care Clinics. One of our other writers who nominated them, Dr. Patricia Slatum, noted that medications, of course, are a mainstay of medical intervention, but sometimes they can be a double-edged sword. The program, the medication review, was actually initiated as part of the national efforts on emerging age-friendly health systems. And also this program helps to implement the 4 M's that many of us are aware of in the gerontology world: medication, what matters, mobility, and mentation. And then I want to end with a statistic that lets you know how important this program is. In the first 100 medication reviews that were performed by the pharmacists on older adults, just between 2 clinics serving residents in Williamsburg and Newport News, Virginia, out of the 100, listen to this, 99 were identified as experiencing polypharmacy, and 82 were taking potentially inappropriate medications. So you can see that truly the medication review program at Riverside Health System is one to be applauded for their efforts and very deserving of the Best Practices Award for 2020. Thank you, Dr. Rumble and Dr. Purdy. And are they with us today?
Yes, we're
Okay.
here.
Yay! All right, thank you so much for being with us, and we love how you socially distanced as you were holding your award. You are actually telling us exactly how we need to be.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you again. So I turn it back over to my colleagues now on the awards committee.
So up next, we have Laura Bauer, and she'll present the Media Award.
Hi, everybody. I want to say special congratulations to Celeste Green and her team from the Culture Change Network of Georgia for winning the SGS Media Award. The videos being produced by Ms. Green and her team are designed to change our perceptions about aging and dementia, ranging in topics from culture change to person-centered care to language to the stigma associated with dementia. The videos are designed to be short, impactful, and relatable. They engage people in a manner that gets a message across in a succinct yet powerful way. And we're going to watch just a short clip from one of them so you get an idea of what we're talking about. Congratulations again. Great work.
And up next, we'll have the Older Adult Travel Award.
Congratulations to Mary Ann Adams for winning the Encore Travel Scholarship. Mary Ann has spent almost 30 years in public health, social work, and community organizing, acquiring the skills and tools necessary to connect the dots and to ask the big questions: who, what, why, and where. She is committed to building upon and maintaining connections to sexual and gender minorities as they age, and to help grow a network of intergenerational women who can offer knowledge, information, care, and friendship to one another as they grow older. Mary Ann is looking forward to volunteering and networking at next year's conference. Congratulations, Mary Ann.
And up next, we'll share the student awards, and Kyle Bauer.
Hello. So the winner of the Student Paper Award goes to a student who demonstrated a strong understanding of their topic, their methods, as well as the possible implications of their work. As shared in a letter of support, Dr. Odo writes that this student is readily able to form new and creative ideas and research questions and works well in an interdisciplinary environment. Environmental and neighborhood predictors of change in mental health and happiness of older Americans underscores the significance of perceived danger in neighborhoods as a determinant of mental health, happiness, and well-being of older adults. Ngozi Chima, a doctoral student in the Department of Rehabilitation and Health Services at the University of North Texas, investigated whether neighborhood factors predicted a change in mental health and happiness of older adults in America, followed up over 5 years. Using data from the National Social Life, Health, and Aging Project, Ms. Chima systematically presented her hypotheses, rigorous analysis, and subsequent results and implications. We were very impressed with her thoroughness and attention to detail. She presented her results in a way that readers could understand with comprehensive tables and models. Furthermore, she helps the audience become aware of the important implications of her work. She writes, "Future policy development and intervention should target improving both physical and social environments to enhancing the mental well-being of older adults. Please help me in congratulating Ngozi Chima for her work towards a superior submission and being named first place for the Student Paper Award for SGS 2020. Congratulations."
And up next, we have the SBS Student Travel Scholarship Awards. We're really pleased this year to be able to offer 4 student travel awards. Sadly, we didn't get to see everyone, but all of these students were ready to present great work and also attend the mentoring pre-conference. So we have pictured Carlin Vogel, Janice Sherrill, and not pictured, unfortunately, Adelaide and Nicholas Renciti. We hope to see them at the conference again next year. Last and certainly not least, we'll have our second class of Victor Marshall Fellows presented by Jen Kraft Morgan.
Hello again. As you are likely aware, the Victor W. Marshall Fellows in Applied Gerontology designation was created in honor of Victor Marshall, a mentor of many of us and a longtime member of SGS. Before he died, I had the opportunity to discuss this with Victor and his wife, Joanne. Many prestigious awards have been bestowed upon Victor over his career, including 2 major mentoring awards from both the Gerontological Society of America and the Canadian Association of Gerontology, and even a Queen's Diamond Jubilee Medal from the Canadian government for his research and advocacy for Canadian veterans. His publication record is impressive, and I'm particularly fond of his edited volumes. Perhaps what he's best known for are his numerous contributions to the theoretical development in the field of gerontology. Victor's contribution to SGS and JAG have been numerous. He was program chair, chair of the nominations committee, and he was a longtime chair of the publications committee, where he presided over the hiring committee and installation of 2 stellar editors of JAG, Malcolm Cutchin, who got the G.R.I.T.S Award today, and Joseph Gogler. He was also recognized as G.R.I.T.S, Gerontologist Rooted in the South, an SGS Hall of Fame inductee in 2015. When I talked to Victor about the fellow designation, he emphasized the need for a focus on mentoring. If Victor were with us now, he'd be looking for ways we can take care of each other in these difficult times. How can we think creatively about supporting our talented and good-hearted colleagues and students? How can we help bridge them from education toward being good, productive, and successful gerontologists? How can we socialize and empower them to make new opportunities and make a difference in the lives of older adults? I am proud to report that the 2019 class of Victor Marshall Fellows, you can see that prestigious class on the website, has decided to put their considerable talents toward mentorship. And while we started this conversation and planned a symposium for the 2019 conference, we acknowledge the greater need now and plan to build support systems for SGS colleagues and students that will help them weather this storm and take any opportunities presented by the inevitable shakeup of ideas and processes in this time of deep economic and cultural change. We are inviting the 2020 class to join us in this effort and create more inroads to careers in gerontology. On to the awardees. Designation by the Southern Gerontological Society as a Victor W. Marshall Fellow in Applied Gerontology is an acknowledgement of outstanding and continuing achievement that bridges the domains of original and applied research, service to government, practice with older adults, gerontology education, and advocacy within gerontology. This designation is meant to recognize SGS members from all aspects of gerontology who have made and continue to make substantive contributions in gerontology that demonstrate excellence in at least 2 of the following areas: provision of care, collaborative agenda setting, research and scholarship, mentoring of gerontologists, public service, teaching and mentoring of students, or advocacy and service to older adults. This designation, equivalent to the attainment of fellow status in many prestigious societies and organizations, is named in honor of Victor W. Marshall, who has made significant and long-lasting contributions to SGS. This year's class of Victor Marshall Fellows in Applied Gerontology is stellar. As a class, they represent a diverse portfolio of important work in gerontology in terms of practice, service, teaching, and research, including service to veterans, caregivers, older adults, and diverse student populations. And these gerontologists address, in both research and practice, important areas such as policy, development, food insecurity, health disparities, music therapy, rural aging, caregiving support, gerontological education, aging in place, and community gerontology education. Each of these fellows have numerous qualifications that have earned them this prestigious designation. I will only be able to mention a few things briefly, and I'm doing in alphabetical order. As a special treat, we have Dr. Joanne Gard Marshall and Dr. Emily Marshall in attendance to cheer on this year's class. Thank you for coming, both of you. First up, next slide, Libby. Dr. Adrienne Cohen. She has distinguished herself as a gerontology education scholar with a focus on rural aging and in implementing programming outreach to low-income, frail older adults in her community. She has served as program track chair for gerontology for SGS and is currently a co-chair for the new SGS Gerontology Education Committee. Congratulations, Dr. Cohen. Next, we have Dr. Ethlyn Gibson. She has distinguished herself as a nurse scholar and a leader focusing on community engagement, health of diverse populations, and service to veterans. She's a commissioned officer in the U.S. Army Nurse Corps. Sorry, Ethlyn. Ethlyn is a current board member of the society. Next up, surprise, Dr. Christy Jensen. Christy exemplifies the research to practice connection through her work developing and implementing high-quality education and evidence-based programming for caregivers in her position as Director of Health Services Research at Riverside Health System. Her own career bridges academia and healthcare as exemplified in her partnerships with VCU and with the Rosalind Carter Institute. Christy is past president of the Society, co-chair of the Awards Committee, and chair of the SGS Council of Presidents. And it's very difficult to keep an award from the chair of the Awards Committee, but we did it. Good job. Next, Dr. Christopher Kelly. Dr. Kelly has exemplified this designation as a leader and organizer of public service and policy in Nebraska as an academic gerontologist. He is an award-winning teacher and mentor and takes seriously Victor's focus on socializing the next generation of gerontology leaders in practice and in scholarship. Chris is past treasurer of the Society and currently serves on multiple committees, including the Publication Committee and the Nominations Committee. Yay. Next, Dr. Candace Kemp. Dr. Kemp has also followed in Victor's footsteps in creating multiple large research teams with an unwavering focus on theoretical development and thick description of social processes of care and care networks. She has distinguished herself as an academic gerontologist and as a tireless mentor to many students and junior colleagues. Candace is past secretary of the Society and is currently co-chair of the Publications Committee. And her parents are again at the awards ceremony. Hi, Sandy. Finally, oh, and that's Marcel and Earl Grey. Those are important members of the team. Finally, Dr. Bert Waters also exemplifies this fellow designation through his mentoring of diverse gerontological students, community outreach and partnership, support for people living with dementia, and his commitment to geriatric workforce education and development. Bert is treasurer of the Society and has been heavily involved in the program committee for previous very successful SGS conferences. Congratulations to the 2020 class of fellows. Your work has just begun.
And finally, a toast to our awardees. It was so wonderful being able to read everyone's applications this year. Christy and I really enjoyed being able to share with you all the wonderful things that our society and members of our society are doing.
And way to go, Libby. She honored my request. I said, I want confetti that's interactive. So you all can applaud her for that little touch. So, and I don't know what's in everybody's glasses, but it was off hours when they were toasting. So, and some of us had pre and post COVID hair, depending on when we got to our salon. So we're going to pass it to Leanne, and she has some important updates and dates for you to keep an eye out for.
Well, I'd like to first say that this awards committee was such a joy to work with, and I would just like to extend a thank you for all their hard work, their diligent sifting and sorting through the nominations, and what obviously has been an exceptional pool of talent they've been able to recognize with us today. So kudos to you all for making the best of a very awkward and weird situation this year. Oh, I was going to change my hat. Hold on. I am I'm taking back command of the ship now. So as your captain, I just wanted to let you all know that there are some things coming up that we can look forward to in ways that we'll spend together. This looks ridiculous. Okay. But we're obviously going to start pushing towards what we hope to be a very normal conference in Baltimore, Maryland in April. Our call for presentations will start August 3rd. It may be a little bit later. We're still working with some of the new software that's come out and all the different changes, but we'll just keep pushing you out information for that. Obviously awards nominations, which if I can just explain to you after watching this how important those nominations are so that we can continue to recognize and utilize really strong talent amongst our group. please make sure to start thinking about who you'd like to nominate, especially those who have just been nominated or awarded. You guys get what an honor it is to sometimes just be recognized for the work that we do because we love doing it, but it goes under the radar sometimes. Also, make sure that if you're mentoring students, you make them aware that we've got this fabulous student paper award. We were unfortunately unable to do the poster awards this year for obvious reasons, but we'll certainly be doing that again in Baltimore. And most importantly, what we've tried to do to adapt to the situation is our gerontological education, and there's a couple people here who represent that new committee, and thank goodness we have that implemented. Have been working really hard to convert some of the different programming we were going to present in Norfolk in an online virtual presentation. So starting June 17th, every Wednesday through August 12th, we're going to have webinar Wednesdays. So we'll be doing that on average between 11:30 and 12:30. Some of them might be a little longer. Some of them maybe right at an hour, just depending on the presentations and the content. So please be looking out for that as something you can attend or encourage your colleagues to attend. They will be themed by subjects and presenter expertise. So with that being said, I'd also like to just, for one last second, recognize Bert Waters because he is ending his term this year as treasurer. So I would just, as a selfish moment, just say thank you so much to Bert for his collaboration and strong leadership in our Budget and Finance Committee specifically this year. I was not able to say it in person, but I wanted to. So thank you. Christy, all yours.
Thank you, Leanne, for going over the dates and helping us look ahead to abstract call and award dates. So be thinking about folks now that you know more about these awards who you may want to nominate. You can share names with the awards committee and then we can go pursue the nomination if that's easier. But I wouldn't hesitate. Don't wait until December or January to be thinking about this and send us names that you know of now, and we'll be sure that they're considered. And again, we want to thank Leanne and all the awards committee for helping us. We hope you had fun this afternoon. We definitely did. It is a challenging time, but we felt very strongly that we wanted to bring something with a fun spirit to it this afternoon. So, and apparently we just have to keep the tradition of surprises going with the next awards event next year. So do you all have questions for Leanne or for the awards committee at this time?
I just want to make a comment. I specifically had it in my notes to thank Leanne along with all the other people I acknowledged, and I slipped right over it. So I stealthily texted her, but now I'm going to do it publicly. She is the backbone of the society. So a few minutes late, Leanne, but definitely adding you to my list.
Thank you. And now I'm going to do this weird thing where I take a picture of all of us. So just go with that and give me your biggest, cheesiest, happiest smiles. Oh, everybody like jumped off their webcam.
No, stay on.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Okay, well, and I do appreciate that, Jody. This job has gotten so much easier over the last couple of years because so many people have taken leadership roles and some strong, serious passion has come forward. So my job certainly has changed over the years in a way that has been pretty magnificent. So thank you.
Thanks, Jody, for doing that, especially with the hat that you're wearing. It made the message even that much better. So I'll have to be careful because the next time I have a Zoom meeting, I may just have to have everybody wear a hat. It's going to be boring after this. So you all might want to.
I would have brought one of the goats up, but it has been raining for 4 days straight, and there's no way they're coming into the house today.
Okay, understand. So we're going to leave the Ring Central open. You can step off if you need to. We know many of you are busy. You're still finishing final grades if you're in academia. You are serving meals if you're in social services. So we know you're busy and you're welcome to step off. But if you want to stay on, you want to chat with anybody in particular, Lauren Hunt did put in the chat feature the hashtag again, and it's the pound SGS 2020 virtual. So please use that. Lauren will probably use that as well as Leanne SGS social media, but for your own academic institutions. And those of you awardees, we really would encourage you to let your place of employment know about the award and encourage them to put out a press release about it and celebrate that. So, Mr. Ferguson, where is his hat? All right, well, we're going to formally end the awards event. Thank you for joining us. Stay around. The awards committee, if you all can stay on and visit with each other, we can celebrate your success today. That would be great. And thank you all for being a part of everything today. And congrats again to our award winners, and be thinking about nominations for next year.